My beloved child, the moment this message finds you, a quiet storm begins to move around your energy, because someone who once walked away from you has now realized they made the biggest mistake of their life. They are watching you with a fear they can't admit out loud, a longing they wish they could silence, and a regret that grows heavier every single day. They never expected your absence to punish them this deeply, and now, every breath they take reminds them that you are no longer the one waiting, hoping, or holding on. They know now, you will never be the same person they left behind, and that thought terrifies them more than anything. A new shift has begun around you, a shift they can feel even from a distance. They thought you would break without them, but instead, you rose, slowly, silently, powerfully, into a version of yourself they never imagined they would lose. And now, as they observe you from the shadows of guilt and what-ifs, they're realizing something that stings like truth they weren't ready to face: you won't be the one they come back to anymore. Because the person you're becoming is rising too high for them to reach, too strong for them to handle, and too aware to ever accept the crumbs they once offered. Another pulse in the air forms around your name, and it carries their panic. They see you stepping into new spaces, breaking old patterns, moving in silence while your energy grows louder and more magnetic than ever. They thought letting you go would free them, but instead, it bound them to a lifetime of wondering what could have been if they had chosen you correctly the first time. Now their memories feel like wounds, their dreams feel like reminders, and everything they once ignored in you has become everything they can't stop thinking about. Their heart knows the truth: they lost someone who was meant to rise, not wait. A new realization is haunting them: you were the rare one. The one who cared with depth, loved with honesty, and gave with sincerity. But they pushed you away thinking you'd always be available, always forgiving, always returning. Except now, they're witnessing a version of you they can't decode anymore. A version they didn't help create. A version they no longer have access to. And it's tearing them apart inside, because the person you are becoming, stronger, wiser, unshakable, is the person they always wished you would never become, because this version no longer needs them, misses them, or waits for them. A final wave moves across your path as their regret deepens into desperation. They keep an eye on you because they fear missing the moment someone else steps into your life and gives you the love, the respect, the loyalty they failed to give. They know that once that happens, they will never have a chance again. And the thought of losing you completely, forever, has become the fear that keeps them awake at night. Something inside them whispers the truth they avoided for too long: you are not the one they return to, you are the one they should have never let go. And now, they must live with the weight of realizing that they lost a blessing disguised as a person. A different silence wraps around you now, a silence filled with intensity. Because the person who once took you for granted is watching every move you make, terrified of how quickly you're rising without them. They never imagined you would transform this fast, this gracefully, this powerfully. And the more they see you stepping into your strength, the more their regret becomes a shadow that follows them everywhere. They're not just observing you. They're studying you, trying to understand how someone they underestimated became the very person they can't stop thinking about. Their heart races whenever your name crosses their mind, because they know something irreversible has shifted. Another wave of realization hits them hard: you no longer look like the person they once left behind. Your energy has changed. Your presence has changed. The way people respond to you has changed. You're becoming someone who demands respect without speaking, someone whose silence is louder than their excuses, someone whose worth they never fully understood until it was too late. And now, they watch you with the fear that someone else will notice what they failed to treasure. Someone else will value you in ways they couldn't. Someone else will stay where they only pretended to care. This thought alone is enough to break them from the inside. A deeper truth burns inside them. They are losing access to you forever. They realize that their hesitation became their downfall, their confusion became their punishment, and their ego became the cage that trapped them in a life without you. They scroll through old memories wishing they had known back then what they finally understand now. They regret every moment they made you feel small, every time they made you question yourself, every chance they had to choose you and didn't. And now, watching you from afar, they understand the weight of their loss. You were the one who carried sincerity, loyalty, and heart. And they threw it away thinking it would return. Stay with me, because what comes next will shake them more than anything they've faced. They feel your absence like a silent fire burning beneath their decisions. They hear your voice in the places where their selfishness used to live. They feel your energy slipping out of their life completely, and for the first time, they're truly afraid. Afraid that the world will offer you someone who recognizes your value instantly. Afraid that destiny will pair you with someone who protects you, uplifts you, and guards you the way they should have. Afraid that the love they didn't nurture will bloom in someone else's heart, a heart more deserving than theirs ever was. A final truth echoes in their mind with a force they can't escape. You're not the one waiting anymore, you're the one being chased. They can feel your energy rising higher than their reach, your worth becoming clearer than their intentions, and your path unfolding in a direction where they no longer fit. Their regret is heavy, their fear is growing, and their urge to return is stronger than ever. But the universe is shifting you forward, not backward. And as they continue to keep an eye on you, they're realizing the truth that stings the deepest. You won't be the one they come back to, you'll be the one they can never have again. A new pressure surrounds their heart now, a pressure they can't breathe through, because every day they watch you evolve, they feel themselves shrinking under the weight of what they threw away. They never believed you would rise like this, with this level of confidence, clarity, and quiet power. The person who once thought you would always remain within reach now sees you stepping into a reality where they are nothing more than a memory dissolving slowly. Your glow is different now. Your silence is sharper. Your distance is louder. They feel it like a warning from destiny itself, reminding them that their chance with you is evaporating, second by second. Another wave of realization strikes them like lightning. You no longer move with the softness that made you so easy to hurt. They see strength in your posture, certainty in your choices, and a kind of inner growth they can't compete with. That terrifies them. It terrifies them because they once had access to your vulnerability, your devotion, your loyalty, and now, they see those same qualities redirecting themselves into your healing. They never imagined that the moment you stopped chasing them would be the moment they started chasing your memory, trying to hold on to scraps of what they once destroyed with their own hands. A deeper regret claws at them as they replay your past in their mind. They remember every moment they made you feel unwanted, every time they offered half love while you brought your whole heart. They remember the look on your face when they chose distance over honesty, ego over connection, and pride over understanding. Now those choices haunt them, turning into a silent storm that follows them everywhere. They thought you would stay broken, but instead, you rebuilt yourself into someone even they don't recognize anymore. And that transformation, your transformation, is the very thing that's punishing them now. Stay with me, because the next part of their regret is even heavier. They see people admiring you, noticing you, choosing you in ways they never did. They see opportunities forming around you, blessings aligning for you, and a confidence growing inside you that they can't influence or control. It scares them because they know what's coming. Someone new is going to see your value instantly. Someone new is going to treat you with the gentleness, respect, commitment, and loyalty they failed to bring. Someone new is going to take the place they always assumed would remain empty for them, forever reserved, forever waiting. But your heart is shifting. Your energy is rising. And your destiny is calling you away from them. A final truth rises like a flame they can't extinguish. They are running out of time. Every step you take forward pulls you further from their reach, further from their influence, further from the version of life where they matter to you. And they feel it. They feel the cord thinning. They feel the distance growing. They feel you slipping from their world while they're still stuck in memories of you. Their fear is no longer losing you, it's accepting that they already did. And as they continue to keep an eye on you from the shadows, one reality burns inside them with unbearable clarity: you won't be the one they return to. A heavier storm forms around their spirit now, a storm they can't outrun. Because every moment they watch you grow, they feel the truth tightening around their chest like a silent verdict. You are stepping into a version of yourself that is untouchable, and they know it. They see the confidence in your eyes, the maturity in your silence, the wisdom in your distance. They feel the shift in your energy, the strength in your boundaries, the glow that wasn't there before. And it destroys them from the inside because they finally understand. The door they once walked out of is now closing permanently. And for the first time, they can't stop it. Another wave of fear rises inside them as they watch you from the shadows where regret has forced them to stand. They see how people respond to you now, with curiosity, admiration, fascination. You've become someone whose presence carries weight, someone whose absence leaves a mark, someone whose growth has turned into a quiet masterpiece. And they know they played no part in it. They weren't there when you broke. They weren't there when you rebuilt. They weren't there when you chose yourself over the chaos they brought. Now they're witnessing the result of the pain they caused, and the strength that grew from it burns them more than the guilt ever did. Stay with me, because their realization is reaching its peak now. They never believed you would become someone they couldn't approach. Someone whose standards rose higher than their intentions. Someone who no longer softens for their apologies, excuses, or sudden affection. They thought their return would always be an option, but now they're watching you become the kind of person who outgrows apologies entirely. You no longer vibrate on the level where their inconsistencies can survive. And that truth terrifies them because they know they are slowly becoming a chapter you will never reopen, no matter how loudly their regret screams. A deeper panic crawls into them as they imagine the future unfolding without them in it. They picture someone new taking your hand, someone new protecting your heart, someone new understanding you in ways they never bothered to. They imagine you smiling again, genuinely, effortlessly, with someone who treats you as a priority, not an option. Someone who sees your worth immediately, not eventually. And that thought is enough to break them, because they realize they didn't lose you to another person, they lost you to your healing. They lost you to your growth. They lost you to the version of yourself who finally chose peace over pain. A final truth rises like a sentence written by destiny itself: they are no longer part of the story you're stepping into. They're stuck in the past they created, replaying moments they wish they could rewrite, drowning in emotions they once forced you to endure alone. You have become too strong to chase them, too wise to repeat cycles, too evolved to return to what once drained you. And now, as they keep an eye on you with a mixture of longing and fear, one realization crushes them more than anything else ever could: you won't be the one they come back to. A deeper, heavier pulse surrounds your energy now. Because the person who once walked away from you is reaching the point where regret no longer whispers, it screams. Their emotions are no longer soft, no longer confused, no longer clouded. They feel everything sharply, painfully, relentlessly. Each day without you feels like a reminder of their own failure. Each moment they watch you glowing from a distance feels like punishment crafted by destiny. They never imagined that losing you would feel like losing the safest home they ever had, but now the truth is sinking into them with unbearable intensity: you were the one thing they should have protected, not abandoned. Another wave of dread hits them as they watch the way you're moving now, quietly, confidently, intentionally. They see no trace of the person who once waited for their crumbs. You're not looking back. You're not searching for closure. You're not bending yourself to fit the shape of what they offered. You're rising without announcing it, healing without asking for applause, and walking away without the hesitation they expected. That scares them. It scares them because they always believed they had time to return, time to fix things, time to choose you whenever it felt convenient. But now, they feel the window closing, and they know they caused it. Stay with me, because their realization is about to cut even deeper. They see potential partners orbiting your energy, people who admire your strength, your beauty, your spirit. They see how doors open for you, how blessings follow you, how your aura draws attention without effort. And they fear the moment someone steps forward and offers you the loyalty they denied you. They fear the moment you allow someone new into your heart. They fear seeing you loved in a way they never managed to love you. That fear becomes their nightmare, a nightmare that plays on repeat every time they see your name, your face, your growth. A new kind of regret takes root inside them, the kind that doesn't let a person sleep. They remember every moment they ignored your messages, every day they kept you on hold, every promise they broke without apology. They remember the times you needed reassurance while they chose silence. The times you hoped for clarity while they chose confusion. The times you offered warmth while they remained cold. Those memories twist inside them now, not as simple guilt, but as the undeniable truth that they lost someone irreplaceable. And losing you wasn't just a mistake, it was the turning point of their life. A final wave of truth rises like a verdict delivered by the universe. They are watching you because they know they cannot reach you anymore. You've outgrown the version of yourself that accepted their excuses. You've outgrown the version that believed their potential instead of their patterns. You've outgrown the version that waited for them to choose you correctly. And now, as your energy becomes stronger than ever, as your path becomes clearer than ever, they stand frozen in the past, watching someone they once had full access to become a destiny they can no longer claim. They know now, with a clarity that hurts more than any goodbye could. You won't be the one they come back to. You will be the one they remember for the rest of their life, wishing they had never let go. A darker, heavier tension follows them now, because the more they watch you, the more they realize they are witnessing something they never believed would happen. You are outgrowing the very memory of them. Their presence, once loud in your life, is fading into something distant and irrelevant. And it destroys them from the inside. They feel the gap widening, the connection thinning, the bond dissolving into silence they can't repair. The person who once acted like they could replace you now understands the truth. You were the rare one, the genuine one, the one their soul was not prepared to lose. That truth sits inside them like a weight that won't lift. Another surge of fear rises through their chest when they see how steady you've become. How unbothered. How aligned. How focused. They remember the version of you that used to overthink, overlove, overgive, and they search for it, but it no longer exists. And that terrifies them. They never believed you would become unreachable, but now your growth has made it impossible for them to approach you with the same excuses, the same half-efforts, the same empty promises. You've evolved into someone who no longer bends to old patterns, someone who no longer accepts emotional crumbs, someone who no longer entertains what once drained your soul. Because the truth unfolding next is the one shaking them the deepest. They feel your energy moving into a timeline where love finds you in a form they couldn't offer, steady, loyal, intentional. They feel destiny aligning someone toward you, someone who sees your worth immediately, someone who gives without hesitating, someone who shows effort instead of hiding behind ego. And this vision of your future becomes their greatest fear. They imagine you smiling with someone who values you. They imagine you building a life with someone who chooses you with clarity. They imagine you healing in arms that don't let go. And that image crushes them because it means one undeniable truth: your heart will no longer belong to them even in memory. A deeper ache strikes them as they revisit every moment they pushed you away. They replay conversations they dismissed, apologies they never gave, chances they wasted. They remember the messages they left unread, the emotions they made you swallow, the times they walked away while you stayed with hope. Now those choices return to them like echoes that won't stop. They realize they didn't just let go of a person, they let go of a future. A future filled with someone who would have stood by them, protected them, understood them, and grown with them. And now, that future is slipping out of their reach forever. A final truth rises like a closure they cannot escape. They are not watching you because they want control, they are watching because they have lost it. Your elevation is undeniable. Your distance is irreversible. Your glow is untouchable. And no matter how tightly they hold on to the past, it will never pull you back into their world. They see you stepping into something greater, something destined, something healed. And the more you rise, the more they sink into the truth that burns the deepest inside them. A heavier realization crushes them now, heavier than anything destiny has ever forced them to face, because the more they watch you from the shadows, the more they feel their world collapsing under the truth they avoided for too long. You are no longer connected to them by hope, longing, or unfinished stories. You are connected only by the regret that suffocates them. They sense your energy shifting into higher ground, the kind of elevation that leaves old connections far behind. And with every rise you make, they feel themselves sinking deeper into the consequence of losing someone their soul was designed to protect. The silence between you isn't empty, it's powerful, it's defining, and it's rewriting both of your destinies. Another storm coils inside their emotions as they witness your transformation becoming unstoppable. They see the strength in your posture, the certainty in your decisions, the glow in your growth. They never believed you would reach a point where the memory of them no longer hurts you, but now they feel it. Your healing has outpaced their ability to catch up. You've shed the past like old skin, stepped out of old wounds like they never existed, and rebuilt yourself into a version of strength they never imagined they'd have to face. And this shakes them to their core. Because they know now. Your evolution doesn't include their return. It includes your rise. Stay with me, because the intensity of what they're feeling now is unlike anything they've experienced. They see people gravitating toward your energy, drawn to your presence, fascinated by your resilience. They watch opportunities form around you like the universe itself is clearing your path. They sense that you're being prepared for someone aligned, someone deserving, someone capable of giving you the stability they never could. And this terrifies them. Not because they fear losing you, they already have. But because they fear seeing someone else love the version of you they never nurtured. They fear watching your heart be held by hands more steady than theirs, more loyal, more present, more deserving. A deeper regret rises inside them like a wound they cannot heal. They remember how they made you feel unimportant while you treated them like a priority. They remember how they dismissed your feelings while you fought for the connection. They remember how they chose silence while you carried the weight of every conversation. Now, those memories return to haunt them, not as reflections, but as consequences. They finally understand that you weren't asking for too much, they were giving too little. And now the universe is showing them what happens when a pure heart is mishandled, it becomes untouchable. They watch the version of you they hurt becoming the version everyone desires. A final truth hammers itself into their mind with the force of destiny's judgment. They no longer have a place in the life you're stepping into. You've moved beyond their patterns, beyond their limitations, beyond the emotional spaces where they once held power. You've become a force they cannot approach, a light they cannot dim, a destiny they cannot interfere with. And as they continue to keep an eye on you with a pain that grows deeper every day, one reality burns through every corner of their regret. You won't be the one they return to.